Good afternoon, everybody. Obviously, there wasn't an NXT show. Welcome to the NXT recap. I'm your boy Throwback. Just going to fly solo and talk about a few things that I'm actually thinking about. So, here we go. Opening segment was pretty good. You went basically straight into a match with Nikita Lyons versus Lash Legend. They did put them over pretty well in commentary. Barrett was literally talking about how Lyons is a head and shoulders above the rest when it comes out to social media and stuff. They were going back and forth. It was very interesting to see how they were trying to balance them out, but the crowd was very, very hot. It was fun to see the fact that in this show, the NXT the NXT crowd actually had a full control of it. They were like a tweener kind of idea, though. Um, for me, it was just, awesome to see that people putting more time in the NXT crowd than anything because they're more invested into it. So, let me send this. Hold on. So, it would basically had a lot of fun having them dictate way things go. They were cheering for Nikita in this match. It seemed like they were putting her over even more. It's fun to see the dynamic between two performers, especially where the commentary is basically stating how much they don't like each other and they're playing off of their strengths. But Lash held her own for the most part, dominated, showing her strength, her speed. So did Nikita, but the match basically ended with a roundhouse kick and into a pin. But the post match thing was the most interesting part because last week Nikita said that she wanted to go after Natty. And the fun part about all this is that Natty literally um, held her own, but Cora basically came down, took out Lash, and then stood up with the skateboard, took a swung at it with the skateboard, and went after um, Natty, and it just went from there. So now it looks like we're getting in for Spring Breaker next week for their show, major show that they do. You get a tag team match between Lash Legend and Nikita Lyons. Uh, Going on different teams, going with Cora Jade and Natty versus all of that. It's going to be a fun match. It should be. If very physical, especially with the three main participants in there, which is Lash Legend, Nikita Lyons, and Natalia, which basically is going to be one barn burner. I'm excited for next week because of the fact that the way it's shaping up is shaping up pretty good. And the backstage segment on this was kind of interesting too because Natty was saying that she was put in the women's locker room on notice, but she noticed Lash Legend. It's kind of contradictory to point out that you're saying you're putting everybody on notice, but you have one person that you have on. Especially how Natty portrayed herself on Raw, saying that all these people are stepping up and not, not taking a role basically. Like she's saying that every new girl comes in and tries to ask them and bother the main roster set up. If you don't notice, I'm in my kitchen. Um, but it went right from there into the North American Championships, going from there. It's going to be fun seeing Soa Sikoa and Cameron Grimes and Carmelo Hayes in that match next week because it's so intricate. There's so much different dynamics and styles and stuff. But Sikoa wins as Trent Williams basically tries to establish himself. They did really well making Trent look strong in this. They made him a lot more understandable and efficient. And hopefully, like Grimes was saying, that Williams is in stuck in a rut by himself with being with Hayes, and that he should be separated. And I kind of agree with that because Williams has the potential to do things on his own right, but it just seems like he's being held back a little bit. Um, it's just going to be fun to see the growth of Trent Williams and go from there. I mean, you know, Doing this is a little difficult doing a one-match show, so just bear with me on this. I haven't done this in so long too. Um, it's going to be interesting to see where they take this dynamic with Hayes and Williams and see if they split them up or kind of like a Wardlow MJF kind of scenario, or are they going to keep it the same? One of the things that just seems like this whole major part of the show mostly was about returns and stuff. We had, Natty back on. You had the Viking. I'm going to call them the War Raiders. The Viking Experience was on doing a tag match and stuff, and was put over and basically put on the tag division on notice. I'm glad they're back. I'm glad they're doing something other than being in catering, and I'd rather have them do something fun instead of just sitting around doing absolutely nothing. And with the Creed brothers next week, they have the same intricate styles and stuff, so it's fun to see, two hardcore hitting tag teams, and this actually makes, in my mind, NXT's tag division a lot better than some other tag team divisions out there, including WWE's SmackDown and Raw side of the coin. Don't get me wrong, you got a whole stack of tag teams there, but there's a lot more to it. Like I said, this is just me a quick recap. This is not going to last a while. I'm so used to bouncing people off. And then Roxy comes up. They have a backstage segment with Toxic Attraction stating that it was a fluke that she won last week, stating that how it all was, it was just like one of those things that just happened and stuff. And Roxy challenged Mandy to a match with basically led, them going back and forth and putting on a really good match, a really decent match too. It was just interesting to see how everything was flowing and dynamic and everything. So I'm happy to see Roxy get her shine on this. Mandy put her over pretty well with a lot of stuff, but Mandy takes the win on this. The running knee lift into the jaw is very deadly, and they basically said that Mandy could hit that at any point. It's going to see where they go from there, but I want to see Wendy Chu take the belt. I really do. That's something that would be fun to see. But at the tail end of the match, Wendy Chu shows up with the super soakers and the silly string and everything. We get a match with the dawn of NXT, Tony D'Angelo with Von Wagner. That was extremely physical. To me, that was the match of the night. That literally was a slugfest, back and forth between all these different moves and everything. It's weird to see the progression of these two, because they even said in commentary they were both polar opposites. One was basically supposed to be in War Games and one wasn't, and they basically rised up. D'Angelo is supposed to be a heel in this, but he's actually a face, and it's just interesting to see Wagner trying to be the best heel out there for NXT, and right now it's Joe Gacy that got that role right now. But I'm hoping to see what happens with Wagner. I hope that it's a lot better. Then it's just all these great things that are happening for, Gacy and stuff. Gacy talks about, how he is got this vision for NXT that he's molding and shaping into, claying into it. He's basically hoping that everything else moves from there and sees how great it could possibly in his own vision. And then Steiner comes out and it says, his son got cleared and everything. This is towards the tail end and stuff. So we'll see what happens. And Breaker is going to be back and doing everything he needs to. So, but that's kind of a mini recap. I know it's a short 10-minute video and stuff. I wish I could go longer. I used to usually like to bounce things and stuff like that. So thanks for taking your time, even though it's short, for a short recap, and just go from there. Do a good deed, pay it forward. We'll be back at it on Tuesday, guys. And if you're on Wicked Crazy Pinfalls, check it out. YouTube.com/throwback27 and twitch.tv throwback978. All right. Just have a good day. Like I said, 10-minute recap. I wish I could do an hour a long show, but it's kind of hard sometimes doing this. All right. Have a good night, guys.